Welcome to the CaveCast, sucker!
They don't think like I think. They don't move like I move. These featherweights never felt the hands that I could put on them.
Oh, you gotta go to the head there. Oh! No, he stopped it. He stopped it. He shouldn't have stopped that fight. He didn't stop. He stopped that fight.
So, I'll turn that down in post if you remind me. That was really loud. That was
caught me off guard.
That was the recording of us watching the Conor McGregor fight last night. You are witnessing. Starting off good. Starting off on the right foot here. You are you're now listening to episode 53 of the CMP CaveCast, and I am Admire, and with me as always is Munkus, spilling coffee on his phone, then wiping it off on my carpet. You got it going on there.
That just happened.
There's a towel. So
I wish we had video for
episode,
that.
it's July
Wonderful.
July 12th, the day after quite possibly the biggest UFC pay-per-view of all time.
This is the
Conor
best.
McGregor versus Chad Mendes. Now,
best of the year.
like where do we start? This card in entirety was ridiculous. The main event and the co-main event both delivered in droves.
Yeah.
And but let's talk about what's on our minds immediately right now, and that's Conor McGregor. This kid, he's fucking 3 years younger than us. We are finished.
Done.
This kid, Conor McGregor, has taken the world by storm and had the most hype behind him of any fighter I've seen in a long time. They brought John Jones along slow. Like, John Jones had 5 or 6 fights in the UFC before getting a title shot. And
It's Conor's charisma. He knows how to work it.
Yeah.
He works it well.
And he talks. He talks a lot. And then we found out last night that he can back it up.
People like that.
So let's start from the beginning of the timeline of this whole circus that we watched.
Jesus
Leading
Christ.
up to this, we already have covered that Jose bowed out. Too much pain for a rib injury to come fight.
Fuck.
And Mendes steps in on 2 weeks' notice. Now, we could start there because I've been hearing a lot of, Mendes took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. I'd like to see him with a full camp.
Yeah.
And where I stand on that is, okay, since this Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor fight was announced, which was 4 months ago, it was a long time ago,
Yeah.
like 4 months ago.
It was a while ago.
And I believe Chad, he knocked out Ricardo Lamas fairly recently, a few months ago. And if he had any kind of intelligence in his brain whatsoever, he's been training for a fight with Jose Aldo or Conor McGregor since that fight was announced. Like,
yeah,
anybody could see that
he should have been.
He's
If
ranked.
not,
He's number one ranked in the world, and he's got to expect that he might get that call if something happens. Well, he got that call. And I don't think that a 2-week training camp it tells the whole story as far as that's concerned.
Because why wouldn't he be training anyways?
And he's mini Mendes. He doesn't cut a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I don't believe to make 145. He's a bantamweight.
He's
So,
not very big.
we could go further back to Chad and Conor on that interview show where Chad called in and Conor told him he'd rest his balls on his forehead.
Well, what was the one where he said? Didn't he say? Cut his head off or something.
He says
he said,
I'm collecting heads.
Yeah, it was something. I can't remember. It was hilarious though.
So then, during promotion week, this was the most promotion I've ever seen on the lead up to a fight, especially if you include the world tour they did with Aldo.
Well, I was gonna that commercial they put out for when they're going down the street.
When Aldo was supposed to fight.
Yeah, when
still?
Aldo.
Yeah.
That was a huge trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, they put money into that.
And then a week later, he bows out of the fight. So, so they put so much into this, and Dana said that they had tickets left when Aldo bowed out, and those tickets went like fast when Mendez was the new guy. So,
Mendez
and that's
fans.
Vegas is 8-hour drive from well, I guess they're in Sacramento, I think.
But yeah, that's probably about 8 hours.
Yeah,
close to 10.
but it's close by.
10.
And that's where Team Alpha Male is.
Alpha.
So so they do all this stuff in the lead up to the fight. They do the conference call where they're talking shit, and they put so much promotion into this fight. And we'll get to this later, but completely overshadowed the actual title fight that was on the card, Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. So they do all this shit talking, and then it comes out after an interview Conor did with Chael Sonnen that Conor told Chael he's 27 pounds overweight, and there's 5 days to weigh-ins or something like that. It was like a Monday.
Oh, shit.
And so that's going around, and somebody asked him about it, and he just said, "Don't believe everything you hear." Like,
yeah,
I'm fine. I'm a professional. And
1:45 on the dot.
Yeah. And so the weigh-ins come down, and Conor comes out and weighs first, and he looks like a desiccated
The Walking Dead
corpse. Yeah. He literally looks like a zombie. His eyes are sunken in, his cheeks, his beard looks longer than normal because his skin's all sucked up, and
he's sort of at a weird loss for words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
he weighs in, does his scream thing, just scary. Like he did look like a
psycho,
a tweaker on like after a few days, you know what I mean? After a couple of missed nights of sleep. So he weighs in. Chad comes out, weighs in. Soon as they say 145 pounds, Chad bails off the scale to go get in Conor's face. Dana looked like he shat himself trying to get in between him because it caught him off guard.
Yeah.
And so they do their little thing, get separated, and then the interview with Joe Rogan, like you mentioned, he really didn't seem like his normal slick-tongued self.
He almost was going to, and then he just sort of like
he messed up a word, and you could just see he was out of it.
He picked it up.
They've had guys like Anthony Johnson back when he was trying to make 170, where they've weighed in and had to be carried off stage because they were so dehydrated. Like they've had guys like that, and I'm surprised that Conor, at least had enough the way he looked to throw a couple of feints at Chad, and Dana was in between them, and
the kick.
Yeah, the front kick. He could have reached him too.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious if he kicked Dana in the head.
Yeah, and this whole thing is the entire reason why I'm such an MMA fan. Like they did everything pretty well. The one thing that I read to you last night was the only disappointment so far tonight has been Reebok.
Yeah,
and it's the big unveiling of the new uniforms, which we thought sucked. By the way,
they did. They could have. They didn't suck. It was like a blank canvas.
They rushed this thing out. But the blank canvas with not a lot going on those shorts makes me think that they're going to cave and give them a sponsor, a spot or two, a patch or whatever. But
fighters deserve it.
So after the weigh-ins, and Chad is just smiling the whole time. He's loving every bit of it. Full confidence that he's going to take this guy's head off.
Yeah.
Full confidence. There was no waver in him. He was not scared whatsoever. And so after the weigh-ins, a video comes out of before the weigh-ins where it was Uriah Faber coming out of a bathroom. Him and Conor come face to face. Conor pats him on the, "Hey, little fella," and Uriah grabs him by the stomach, like both sides, like he's getting ready to toss him like a cheerleader or something.
Yeah.
And Speaking of which, how much smaller still did Uriah look than Connor? Like,
Oh God,
Connor's too small for that weight division if Connor's lurking around there.
Connor looked huge. Those two fighting each other.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about that now, they look like two different.
And think about Connor with 20 more pounds on him.
Way, yeah,
Hydrated.
a way different weight class.
So Connor tries to like arm drag him, but he looks weak as shit. And
I was gonna say I watched the new Embedded. There's a 9, the newest, and where you saw where Connor says he could have tossed him.
Yeah, he says I just grabbed him and I could have thrown him, but it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have thrown him. So they get into it, and Connor, I'm sure, probably. I know you can't take diuretics or anything like that, but he probably had something going through his system. You know, being that dehydrated, he probably had to shit water or something. He had to piss out of his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so that little scuffle happens, and Uriah, you know, me and you were both watching the weigh-ins going, holy shit, he looks bad. And then Uriah says he felt like a teenage girl.
Well, they showed the side view of him.
Yeah.
And it was like I thought of that reference, and I was like, fuck.
You're right. You know, he said I grabbed him, and
like,
Uriah
what?
was talking shit, saying he felt weak and all this. So that's just the weigh-ins. I knew it was going to be fireworks, you know, just the weigh-ins. And so then leading up to this fight, let's see, leading up to this fight, nobody really was giving Connor a chance. Like,
everyone was picking Mendez. I saw about 4 different picks, and they all chose Mendez.
I can't remember who it was, but one of the pros took Connor. But so
that's weird.
Like, what did we witness? Is like when. Okay, first I guess we should cover the entrances. This was it was a completely different production than any pay-per-view I'd ever seen, as far as the look and the lighting and everything that they did, and they had new graphics on the thing.
Yeah,
it really ushered in a new era, which I hope they get this shit straightened out, because
it's a little blah.
It's a knife blade right now. The Reebok thing, like a lot of fighters are not happy, and they're more looking out for the brand than the actual fighters. But so Connor comes out first, which I was confused at first, because I thought in my head, Connor was in the title fight. Now Chad's stepping in. Why is Connor coming out first? And then it's like, oh, Connor was ranked 3 and Chad's ranked 1. So he's, even though he's the replacement, he's a higher ranked fighter. So Connor comes out, Sinead O'Connor on stage singing live to his entrance, whatever Irish anthem song she was doing.
She wasn't wearing any shoes either.
Chad Mendez comes out to Aaron Lewis from Stain doing his country boy song. Which, I mean, lyrics aren't terrible. I can't hate on it too bad.
It's just not my type of music.
Guys going to country. Darius Rucker. I will channel Kynes even though he's not here. Blair. So those are the big walkouts. Like, I've never seen anybody have live music on a UFC. I've seen it on other stuff like Strikeforce and Pride
WWF
and WWF.
WWE, yeah.
D-Generation X. See when they
awesome.
played out live? Yeah.
That was not a Sunday Night Heat.
I think so.
God damn.
Yeah.
They don't even have Sunday Night Heats anymore.
Nope, it's all over.
It was a treat to get Stone Cold on a Sunday Night Heat.
Oh, man.
You got a stunner on a Sunday Night Heat.
So back
to the real shit.
We should have just talk about. Remember this on about old wrestling, because I didn't really ever consider myself a wrestling fan, but then I look back on it and I was like a huge pro wrestling fan. Remember this? Remember when this happened?
I wouldn't
was
talk
awesome.
about it with my friends. I did.
Me and Moni were big.
Me and Jeremy, my buddy Jeremy.
So now after all of this circus, the cage door closes, and it's time to find out. Whatever. Does Connor have a ground game? Can he stop Mendez's wrestling? He's gonna get smashed on the floor for fucking 25 minutes. Mendez might catch him with one of those big overhands. He looks down at the floor and throws it and hopes for the best. I'm just gonna be doing Connor quotes this entire. Strap in, folks. Lots of awful Connor quotes. So the fight begins, and what does Connor do coming right out the gates?
The spinning back kick
that you talked about last week.
Yeah, the first thing he did.
I think Connor's a listener. I'm not positive, but I think that was for you.
He just wanted to show.
You were talking about how awesome his back kick is.
He loves his and he likes the people that stick by him. And I think I've done it.
Yeah, you have
until the second round and when I said that fight
you just wanted your prediction of the third round KO to be right. So Connor runs out, meets Chad over in his corner, and throws that spinning back kick to the body, which he landed probably 3 or 4 times, I think.
It was a good kick for him.
Dude, he throws that. He gets around so fast on that it's a good kick against a wrestler. Like, a wrestler's going to have a hard time grabbing onto that leg that you give when you do that, the angle that it comes in at.
And how quick that movement is.
He's lightning fast. So some questions were answered. So Mendez basically, first chance he gets, dumps Connor on his back. I think the first takedown, he lands that big elbow that cut McGregor.
Yeah, it happened early.
But McGregor gets out of it, lands a couple shots, and the thing that I was noticing from the get-go is every time that piston left hand landed on, I saw Mendez's legs straighten up a little bit, like involuntarily. I saw him, take one wobble step after a couple times he got hit. And that shit is deceiving. His power, I'll say it like hands down, nobody has a more powerful punch in the featherweight division than Conor McGregor.
No, because I watched that Poirier fight, and him
clipped him behind the ear.
Clipped him.
Yeah.
And he went how he went down like that sack of potatoes. It was boom, and it wasn't even a full
And
on.
most of his, I think I talked about it last week. Most of his shots that I've seen him knock people out with have been glancing blows.
This one wasn't.
This one was not. So he takes Connor down again. Connor gets up, lands a couple shots, and it's just kind of going like that. Connor started out a little reckless. He's giving him that leg. I thought,
bit of adrenaline.
He leg kicked Mendez one time, and Mendez just caught him by the heel nonchalantly, and I was like, oh no, like is he this confident? Does he really know something that we don't? And they're just talking the whole time. Well, Connor's talking.
They're talking. I was gonna say, really, I mean, up to that point of the end of the fight, Chad was winning. He won that first round. But I feel like that was gonna. I mean, that was going to swing the round.
Yeah.
If it ended right there, they were gonna give it to Connor.
Yeah.
And then it'd be one, and then it was done.
Now, if there's nobody, well, anybody that hasn't seen Connor probably doesn't know who Nick Diaz or Anderson Silva are either. But Connor's in-cage persona is, and I hate to say that like he's pretending or something, like Connor, the way Connor acts in the cage when he's in kill mode is a lot like Anderson and Nick Diaz put together.
It's a weird stalking
and putting the hands up right here, like, what's up? Are we gonna fight or what?
And shake it, getting hit and shaking it. Just not every time. So that's how he does it all the time. Nope, didn't hurt.
Shook a finger at him, I think, one point. So the round ends. Round one, Connor obviously is hurting Chad, but just not very often.
And he's getting taken down.
He spent most of the round on his back. And then second round comes out, Connor stuffs a takedown. I'm like, okay, he's got it figured out now. And then Chad fakes a shot, and Connor goes down to stuff another takedown and eats a punch. And I'm like, and that started making me think, oh no, like now Connor's too scared of the takedown. He's gonna open himself up for that big punch. And what happens? He gets taken down again. And at this point, Chad is landing elbows, but Connor's kind of got it figured out where he's making them not as damaging as that first one.
Because you couldn't see it. Yeah, you couldn't see where
and Connor's got a good cut, too.
Yeah.
He's got a good cut over his eye from the first round that keeps bleeding.
And Connor's throwing those elbows, when he was throwing those elbows from the bottom.
And Chad wouldn't give him a lot of space, but when he did, Connor started landing those elbows to the top of his head.
God, imagine he has just a mountain on his head.
And that was the thing, because Chad kind of stopped fighting and looked up at the ref to go
multiple times,
and which opened him up for a lot more elbows to the top of the dome. And Connor, as soon as the ref's like, it's fine, he just starts wham, wham, wham. So Connor stands up. There's about 20, 30 seconds left in the round, gets back to his feet. Oh, no, okay. I skipped a part. They get in a scramble, and Chad dives all in on a guillotine that looks like he's gonna land it, because he gets to the neck, and then he jumps his legs forward to try to wrap, and Connor with no time left to do anything, reacts perfectly and rolls out of it, gets back to his feet.
Second nature looking type shit.
It was beautiful. His escape of that guillotine was picture perfect. So they get back to their feet. Connor seems fine. Still got the pop on his punches. He throws a right-left combination that the right lands, blocks the left, blocks the view of the left hand coming, and just puts him out. And Chad curls up. Didn't put him completely out, but Chad curled up, and Connor jumped on him. Ref steps in. Now you guys heard on the recording that, and I'm not gonna throw you under the bus because I was waffling
just because
there was 6 seconds left.
It ended with 3 seconds left.
Okay,
and so I asked how many punches you thought could get off in that amount of time, and you said 6.
Yeah,
5 or I think that, and that put basically summed it.
Yeah.
Like, Connor's going to hit him 6 more times, and
hard.
He's not he just has his hands over his head.
Yeah, and I've seen people cry, oh, that was an early stoppage, just like they do with women's MMA. Because I've seen them a couple times where it seems like they worry about the health of the women a little bit more. And that's most guys are refs, and I think that's a natural reaction to try to protect a woman from
male, just
But that's what I was seeing about this Mendez stoppage. And then me and you kind of talked about it, and it's like, look, so Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez, the same thing happened. Cain caught him with a big shot, put Brock against the cage, and Brock just turtled up and was not fighting back. Yeah. And when they say intelligently defending yourself, it doesn't mean fetal position,
That's almost like a white flag.
Yeah. It doesn't mean necessarily. It means blocking shots and trying to improve your position. But he just curled up. He was hurt bad, and he didn't contest it. He didn't wake up going, "It was too early. It was too early."
He got his bell rung.
And so Conor McGregor is the new interim featherweight champion. He has proved the hype real, backed up his talk to the fullest extent, and
every time,
like I said, there's not a harder puncher in the featherweight division.
Not calling his shots very good though.
2 times in a row he's called first round KO
and got
made it to the second. Now, one thing I'll say for the end of this fight, the picture of class is these 2 guys.
That was nice.
It was
nice.
That's another reason why I love the sport so much, because I get those warm fuzzies in my tummy tum when this kind of sportsmanship is shown after 2 guys have been talking so much volatile shit about each other and about rearranging one another's faces and whatnot. And then Chad goes over and hugs him. Connor grabs his hand and raises Chad's hand. Gives him nothing but respect for taking the fight. Yeah. When Jose, trashes Jose again. And the picture of class. So fucking my hat's off to both of the guys. Like, Chad is a bad motherfucker.
It was a nice to see Connor on a humble level.
Yeah. You were saying all day yesterday,
he needed it. Well, he'd never shown that side of him, and if he wants to be this personality that he's becoming, that's wouldn't do nothing but benefit him. And he did it. It was.
You were on the fence a little bit all yesterday and the day before, like telling me like Connor is like you said. I think one shitty act away from making me dislike him. Like, and that's what he does. He's so cocky. And I haven't been able to explain why I love the guy so much.
Well, he's entertaining. Yeah. He's fucking sheer entertainment, nonstop.
Yeah.
The guy is fucking and he's good at what he does. And people love someone who can back up what they say.
Yeah.
If you can say you're gonna fucking do what he's doing,
and there's
all the fighters do it, but not all of them do it like that.
There's where the Chael Sonnen comparisons stop. Last night at 9:30 or whatever, because Chael did that talking, then they've compared him to Chael for a couple of years now as far as the talking, but this guy really is the real deal. And I was looking up his fights. He's had 6 fights in the UFC now, and he's the UFC featherweight interim champ. Of his 6 fights, only the fight where he blew his knee out and ended up taking Max Holloway down for the next round and a half and just smothering him. Connor did that to him when he hurt his knee because he couldn't plant on it and throw kicks. But aside from that fight, every single fight of his, he's gotten a performance bonus. 5 out of 6 UFC fights, he's gotten a performance.
So he won last performer of the night.
And the dude is one of a kind guy, and I'd forgotten about this, but my dad reminded me last night. I watched Connor destroy somebody. The fight before his last fight for Cage Warriors, before he came to the UFC, I watched him destroy somebody and was like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. So I talked to my dad. I'm like, I got another one, because I called John Jones before he was in the UFC. I said, look at this guy. He'll be in the UFC soon, probably a champion. And I tell my dad, I'm like, you gotta look at this guy. I guarantee he's gonna be in the UFC real soon, and he could maybe beat Jose Aldo, And so his next fight, he went up to 155 and beat Chase Butchinger, knocked him the fuck out. He did. That was the one where he just gets out of the way of a right hand and comes over the top with that left and just puts the guy out and then just stares at him and walks off. And then like 3 weeks after that fight, I'm online and I see Conor McGregor signs with the UFC. So I sent my dad the link and I was all, "What's up?" Fucking Nostradamus over here. And then and now he's done all of this, like, and he came and conquered. He is the biggest fighter in the UFC. A newly crowned interim champion is the #1 draw in the UFC.
Fuck, he was the #1 draw before, I think he loses that fight and he's still gonna draw. Just no one has that personality in that superstar status.
Yeah.
With that personality. John Jones was a fucking... We saw what John Jones was.
And we really didn't know much about Jones, and we still didn't like him. There was just something always about him. It's the same thing. I couldn't really explain it. You could go with what Rashad in DC says. Oh, he's just fake. He's fake.
Smug.
And it's like...
He looks smug.
Yeah, you want to put your finger on it a little bit more... But then your finger comes back covered in white powder and it's numb.
And you're happy.
You're for some reason you're running from the scene of an accident. There's a pregnant chick screaming. So this guy's the real deal. And next up is Jose Aldo. And I had questions answered last night about the fight with Jose Aldo too. Because Jose will stand toe-to-toe with him. Yeah. And I just don't think you can do that. I think the power is too great. I've seen every single one of these guys drop with, like we said, that piston he put in Chad's face last night was crazy. He punched through his head.
Yeah. Oh, his head was...
But but
close to getting knocked off.
And Chad is super tough. Chad's been finished one time, and it was by a knee from Jose Aldo. So this guy's got hands, and I said last week that Jose's taken a lot of damage in his last couple of fights, and he's starting to get a little old. The guys are starting to catch up to him as far as the talent and the skill level.
He hasn't been put out though, right? He hasn't been knocked cold.
Chad dropped him a couple of times in the fight, but he ended up beating Chad decision. But here's the thing.
Concussed, though.
Here's the thing. Yeah. and that adds up. That's why George St. Pierre, stopped fighting. And here's the thing is Chad Mendes was able, if I'll look up the picture right now of Jose's face after Chad Mendes fight.
Yeah.
Chad Mendes was able to put hands on him a lot. And Chad Mendes has an 8-inch reach disadvantage on Conor McGregor. So if Chad was able to put hands on Jose that much, after watching this, and nobody uses their length better than Conor McGregor. GSP did it. John Jones does it. Using that length that you have and being a professional at it is huge.
I need to watch some Aldo fights to get just so don't get so one-sided on Conor because I don't want to take anything away from Aldo because he's on a 15 fight win streak.
No, he's on a 15 title defense win streak.
Yeah, 15.
He hasn't been beaten in 6 years.
So that isn't to be taken lightly. So he's a tough motherfucker.
Here's what Jose Aldo looked like after the fight with a 5-round fight with Chad Mendes. Now, how many punches did you think it took?
Not quite as bad as Rory.
Yeah. Which would have been a perfect segue if you didn't do it 2 minutes early.
Oh man.
Leave it to the master, okay? I'm a black belt in segues. So that's my only point. Actually, I mean, we're pretty much done with that. That's my only point is that Chad put hands on Jose quite a bit, and I don't think you can stand up to the punches of Conor McGregor.
No. And
I didn't buy quite into that up until this fight, but I'm saying it. There's nobody with more power. Maybe even at 155.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a fight with Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone? Can you just not try not to get hard for that fight?
I think about it, and I think Conor would destroy him.
But what a fight.
That would be a great fight. I just don't think it goes more than 1 or 2 rounds.
It has to be a 5-rounder.
Because I feel like the only way it's going to go that long with Conor is if somebody like Chad or
is able to
Frankie
slow the fight
Edgar
down,
pulls him to the ground and keeps him on the ground all fight.
Now that's the last thing I want to cover of Conor McGregor. That, my friend, was a beautiful segue. A segue within a segue. Frankie Edgar, I think, is the biggest threat to Conor McGregor because of the way Chad Mendes is a great wrestler, fantastic wrestler, and has a hell of a right hand. Frankie Edgar mixes up his striking and his wrestling better than anybody, and I think he'll have an easier time possibly getting Conor to the ground.
And he's going to learn something from this fight too.
Oh yeah.
That's know that you can't stand up.
He's going to realize that Ireland doesn't offer the best wrestlers.
Yeah. It's just you can't stand up against him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something. I mean, Jose needs to. I mean, is he black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah,
he needs to get.
But he don't do. He.
That's what I'm saying.
Might as well be a white belt.
Yeah,
because he stands and bangs. But Frankie Edgar is another one of those guys that's taken a lot of damage in his career, and I don't think could stand up to those punches either. But it's just the way that he's hard to hit. You know what I mean? Obviously, from that picture you saw of Jose, and that was what Chad did no damage to Conor's face with punches.
No,
whatsoever.
The elbow.
Yeah. So but that's what I think is gonna happen. You're gonna have Jose Aldo in Las Vegas for the actual title fight, which, depending on whether Conor has an injured knee, and if he needs surgery, that could suck. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you have an interim title fight for the interim title? Do you have a double interim?
Shit. I think they just strip him. I think that's what they do. They take the interim from him.
Well, Jose will come back and Jose will fight Frankie again or something like that if that's the case, and then Conor will come back and fight.
Yeah, they won't take it from him like that.
But barring a surgery needing knee injury from Conor, I think he fights Jose at the year end. You know, they have a New Year's fight that's always New Year's Eve weekend, you know, somewhere along there, and it's always a big fight. That'll be that in Las Vegas, and then sometime in July, possibly, or, you know, depending on injuries and whatnot, you're going to have Frankie Edgar in Croke Park in Ireland at the fucking soccer stadium. And then that will be the last question you need to answer about Conor McGregor. Can he fill up a soccer stadium? And can he take on Frankie Edgar? But anyways, that's the end of that, the Conor McGregor segment. We did 35 minutes on him, so you're welcome for the promotion, sir. Yeah. I know you need it.
Well, he's been listening.
I'll 10%. Can I have some of your money, please?
Back kick for me.
Can you just send me one of your watches? Just one watch.
Yeah.
So
help me for the whole year.
So now on to the fight that got basically this was the fight that was cowering in the shadows of Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes, not of their own accord either. They just got really no promotion from the UFC. They got it was about a 90% to 10%
people who just knew Conor McGregor and that's what they were watching it for. Got a treat.
Yeah. So Rory McDonald
fight,
and Robbie Lawler took part in quite possibly the fight of the year. I'm not even quite possibly. It's the fight of the year
right
so
now,
far.
Yeah, I can't think of another fight that's put that type of impression on me.
Even if you could, like, even if you hadn't seen it or something, I think it's still, it doesn't get much better than what we saw. So Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald. Robbie already had beaten Rory in a decision before he was the champion, but Rory just looks like a murderer lately. And like literally, yes, he looks like there's bodies in his backyard.
There's bodies in
his
backyard.
He has dead eyes. There's nothing behind he's soulless. So Rory comes out. First round, feeling out round. Nobody really lands a whole lot, but Rory gets better volume, better cage control, wins the first round. Second round, Robbie, correct?
Robbie
comes out,
for sure.
lands more shots.
Looks like he's
getting the better of those exchanges. They start kind of throwing combos at each other, and Robbie's landing.
There was a shift in what was going on.
Then Rory comes out in the third. Lands a big head kick.
He was getting beat up, though, before that. Yeah. He was hurt. I didn't realize. It didn't seem like he was that hurt, but...
Robbie punches hard.
Saved him. That kick saved him.
And when did he break Rory's nose the first time?
Rory, I think...
Was that second round?
It was either the second round or the beginning of the third.
It was the third, I think.
Yeah, and
so Rory gets his nose broken, lands a big head kick on Robbie. Which it's funny. Joe Rogan was just talking about this earlier in the week. How some strikes to the back of the head are okay because when you head kick somebody,
you can't help it
unless you give them full shin to the chin. Your foot wraps around the back of their head. Well, Robbie blocks this kick, but the foot wrapped around. And his entire instep, or whatever you call that little section right there,
just donked him.
Yeah, cracked him, and he starts wobbling around like he, had a little too much to drink.
Yeah,
he starts wobbling around like my uncle at Thanksgiving, and
Rory proceeded to start beating the hell out of him for a while.
And he tried to finish him, and it looked bad. It looked like Robbie was going down.
Just
fourth round.
Rory came out.
Rory comes out throwing head kick after head kick. He threw a whole basket of head kicks at him.
And he landed about half of them.
He landed about half of them. Couldn't put Robbie out.
Then he let
then he kind of lets up at the end of the 4th round. Beginning of the 5th round, Robbie comes out, lands a gigantic overhand, straight right hand, right down the pipe, and just shatters Rory's face. And he's in so much pain, he just falls down.
Done.
Now, Rory, from the looks of it, has dual broken orbital bones,
broken nose,
a mincemeat thing that used to be a nose, and Robbie
looks like
has a vagina on his face.
Oh God!
His lip looks like he's been in a. Looks like he was in the mafia in a knife fight in the mafia.
That was a good half to a full inch.
It was a gash. He's half a Joker face now. But fight of the year, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, golf clap, because that was, hats off, fellas. That was a good fight. Anyways, let's go to a break. We talked about MMA for 40 minutes. The girls are gonna love this one.
Stop it.
Marcus just came. So yeah, we'll be right back. We're gonna go take a break, and it'll be after these pretend messages. This week's CaveCast is brought to you by colonquench.com, your #1 stop for rectal hydration. Have you developed a dreadful thirst but are sick of drinking water the old-fashioned way? Well, stand out from the crowd and try rectal hydration from colonquench.com. Sign up now for a 30-day free trial, and one of our well-trained operatives will lock you in a small concrete room and quench that thirst. Choose from our list of over 30 flavors or pay a little extra for our new product, Hummus Blast. Try the new Hummus Blast today, and our operatives will find the answers to all your hydration needs. Log on to colonquench.com now and tell them your friends at the CMP CaveCast sent you to get your 30-day free trial.
colonquench.com is not responsible for any injuries received or information gained as a result of using our product, and there's nothing you can do about it.
We were back. Marcus he drank the coffee without spilling it, folks. I know we were all waiting on the edges of our seats. No spilt coffee. The crowd went wild, Marcus. I want to suck your dick. What? Let's move on.
Yeah.
So,
just me and him.
We were I kind of liked what we were talking about just now on break when we weren't recording. It's because I watched a Des Bryant video, and we've got some things to talk about there. This whole collusion thing, but we just watched a video of Des Bryant, and he is shredded. I
wouldn't mind him being a Raider.
For those of you who don't know who Des Bryant is, he's a wide receiver for the soon-to-be Super Bowl champs, Dallas Cowboys. So, he's shredded, and then I kind of got thinking, like, when did the receiver's body change? Because you've got guys now that look like Des Bryant, that look like Calvin Johnson, look like Anquan Bolden.
Amari Cooper can do those pull-ups, those clap pull-ups. Remember that?
Holy shit,
he does pull-ups and claps.
That is ridiculous.
The guy's a freaking freak.
I
he
do
trains like
I
no
do
other.
3 clap push-ups, and I need to rest my shoulder for 3 days because it hurts. But yeah, we were kind of talking about like Terrell Owens ushering in the new era of these
doing sit-ups
just
in his driveway.
Monsters, yeah, for a media crew.
Yeah.
Right before he took a bunch of pills, or after.
Didn't.
God, he was a drama queen.
He's such a.
Did he come out as gay yet? I always kind of thought he was a little like. I mean, he was like
could have been
hiding that he was gay. So
he could do a lot for gay, the gay movement.
I don't think they would want him.
I wouldn't.
I barely wanted him on my team, and when he played for the Cowboys, until he started just catching touchdown pass after touchdown
still,
pass.
You weren't sad when he left.
No. But so I wanted to try to think of a guy earlier than T.O. that had that kind of a physique to him. Like, there just wasn't, like we talked about.
Tight ends.
You've got Jerry Rice, and you've got, Chris Carter, the big guys. what's his name?
Isaac Bruce.
Lynn Swan. He was bigger, but he wasn't like
small.
They're kind of skinny. Yeah, Isaac Bruce. Torrey Holt was even smaller than Bruce.
Cliff Branch I mean, he was a stud back in the 70s, but he was just a speedster.
Yeah.
You know, that's what those receivers were, just fast.
Yeah.
You know.
So then yeah.
Jared, or what was his name? Jeffries for the Oilers was Warren Moon.
Oh.
Hayward Jeffries. He was just a regular receiver, you know.
Yeah.
All the receivers.
5'10", 5'11", you know, 190
they were big,
pounds.
They were big. If they were, but they weren't I mean, you were either fast or you were just sort of a big target.
Yeah.
You were Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah. So then Terrell Owens just starts burning people down the field, starts manhandling cornerbacks like they're his little bitch.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I brought up David Boston. He had a couple of good years there where his arms, he looked like Jamal Lewis. Remember Jamal
huge.
Lewis, running back for Baltimore? Yeah. He never could lift weights. He said, I can't lift weights. I can only do cardio because if I lift weights, my muscles just swell up. I start gaining weight. Like,
It's too big.
he just had a freakish body, which, you know, what did he go for 2,000? He went for $2,000 one year, didn't he?
Yeah. When he had good,
But yeah,
when he was on a good team, he was a good running back.
David Boston played for the Cardinals that was just swole, and then consequently
Jesus, he did steroids.
popped for steroids. Now, did we find out for sure? Is he dead or?
I'm not sure. I don't know why I thought that. It might be thinking of somebody else.
So and then the other big body, chiseled physique receiver in our day's breaking news, Demaryius Thomas.
Oh,
So go ahead. I'm gonna look up if David Boston is dead. You fill the people in on Demaryius and
the
Denver collusion.
I
Dallas and
you know,
Denver.
I really, other than what it seems like to me, because I haven't been to Dallas or Denver to talk to the representatives about this, but once I get the chance, I will.
You're flying out Saturday, by the way.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel that Denver and Dallas, the mans of the group, you know, when the players are the boys, going back 8. Shut up. I'll get to the point. Anyways, I feel like they're working together on
contract.
Trying to.
I mean, your contract.
My contract. I know. I am losing money as we speak. The contracts, they're talking together about not giving one of the receiver, either one, a contract, because if one gives, if Demaryius gets his contract, a huge contract, then that gives Dez Bryant leverage against the Cowboys. Like what, flip that, flip it around, and it's the same thing the other way. But
yeah, so you've got Dez holding off signing a franchise tag contract because he wants his $16 million, and the Cowboys are trying to hold out. God, I'm really disgusted by this organization kind of this year with the whole, we talked about that before, about the whole apparent worse video than, I don't know how they come up with the percentage, but this one's 43% worse than the Ray Rice video that Dez Bryant's involved in. That went
trying to drive his price down.
That went nowhere.
That's horrible.
And that is an awful dick fucking big corporation thing to do.
The man type of thing to do.
And
fight the man. Fight him.
So, I'm not mad at Dez right now for what he's doing.
He's saying I'm a fucking
sticking
man.
up for what's right. And he deserves it. He deserves 15. They say Dallas wants to pay him 14 and Dez wants 16. I say 15-5 and fucking get this guy. He's the heart and soul of your offense. He really is.
He saves Tony Romo.
Not your offense, I mean. But.
Yeah. He saves Tony Romo. I mean,
Talking
like,
to
he
you,
really
Dallas.
he's a great bailout. I mean, as is Witten, but if he doesn't have that you could throw the ball up to him in single coverage and he's going to catch it. So it's just give it to Dez.
David Boston, by the way, not dead.
Okay.
Went to San Diego Chargers in
Dolphins,
2004. He went to the Dolphins where he tested
Ow!
positive for steroids and only served a 4-game suspension for that.
That's only thing. He only get a 4-game now
They
too.
put you out for a year in MMA now.
Yeah.
And then 3 years for your second test.
Baseball's 50 games.
Went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was released in 2007 after being arrested on a DUI. Then he played for the Toronto Argonauts.
Up there in the CFL. Canadian Football League, for all those who don't know what CFL is.
Yeah, so David Boston had a rough go.
It's funny.
After the steroids.
I was actually watching a CFL football game the other day for about 2 minutes.
A CFL?
Yeah, that field is huge.
Is it?
It's
I don't know that I've ever watched it.
65 yards wide.
Really?
It's just when they play weird football.
I've seen a lot of Arena League, but I've never seen the CFL. I don't think.
The Arena League. I bought that video game. It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
It was not that good.
They don't have the money to put into a Madden type thing.
Well, and who knows?
Actually, let's cut this. Can we just stop this right here? I kind of want to go play some Madden.
Right?
I'm just kidding, people. We're going to give you another 7.5 minutes at least.
That was just after 7 games of Madden, just so you know. There's a cut in there somewhere.
we just go play, and it's like, yeah, everybody, we're just gonna be, hey, and we're just gonna be doing something. I forgot what we were talking about, but we lost. So yeah. I wonder have you seen anything that like as far as punishments levied out if they do happen to, because why would
They'll be fined.
Why would they be investigating it if
They'll
they
be
didn't have
fined.
some pretty good info?
They're gonna fine them probably about.
I know they're gonna be fined. They're rich.
$100,000. 6 figures, pretty big. But Dez and Demarius are fine.
Yeah.
I just want one of those guys to just go to the Raiders.
That's some more big business stuff, right? That's happening. It's not Dez or Demarius. It's the teams colluding together.
Those assholes.
Yeah. That's
They treat the players like shit. Anything to gain a buck.
I will
any and everything.
I will get pushed too far. Like my heart is fucking for sure still.
You love the team,
silver and blue, but man, they are making bad decisions the last fucking 15 years.
And Garrett's a player's coach.
Yeah,
and that's why. But he gets along with he's that middleman there. That's for some reason Jerry's likes him there. He doesn't fire him.
Yeah.
Where other coaches get the hook real quick.
Al Davis disease.
Yeah, and he's getting older. The
And
older, guess what happened? The older Al Davis got.
He's grabbing chicks' asses in pictures and stuff, just partying all hammered and coked up, probably.
The older Al Davis
Jerry
got,
Jones, you cunt.
The worst decisions he made. And he destroyed that fucking organization.
In 2 years of draft picks, I think. Jamarcus and then Hayward
Bay.
Bay.
They traded away 2 first-round draft picks away for Carson Palmer after, Carson Palmer could get the best he could do with Hayward Bay was 975 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Oh, by the way,
4 touchdowns.
I love interspersing this with David Boston. On December 1st of 2011, David Boston was accused of beating a woman after a night of drinking in Boca Raton, Florida. Boston allegedly punched the woman twice in the head, leaving a gash big enough to require 10 stitches after the incident.
Fucking guy.
You see the arms on that guy? 2 punches. Bust you open. Anyways,
she still had her head.
That's all we got on David Boston.
I've been
still alive though. We'll check in when he dies.
Yeah, from a heart attack.
Yeah, bad guy, David Boston.
Sounds like a very good dude.
Anyways,
probably just filed bankruptcy at one point in time.
So,
not saying that's a horrible thing because I could.
Yeah, our future president, Donald
Trump,
the Donald.
What a fuck.
So sticking with NFL news.
Yeah, let's get away from
something good for the Cowboys happened on the 4th of July.
What?
And they had no part of it. It was Jason Pierre-Paul blowing off a finger.
And indirectly could have benefited the Raiders, possibly in the future.
Yeah, let's talk about how this affects both of our teams. First of all, they pulled the franchise tag off of him.
They didn't yet.
Oh, they're looking at it, or what?
They had a contract offer they extended him after they had given him the franchise tag, and they pulled that.
See that, people? Hey, he's earning that contract back because he does not have a computer in front of him right now.
Yes.
This is all Sports Center Marcus that you're getting right here.
So you can just watch Sports Center if you listen to this.
We're funnier than I was gonna say Stuart Scott.
That's just a sad thing. I was going to say
so much funnier than Stuart Scott right now. Boom shakalaka.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow right now.
God, cooler than the other side of the grave.
God, I love Stuart Scott. That's horrible.
Stuart Scott, Jesus.
I'm saying he's not alive.
But yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul, he lit a fire
Great guy.
work off in his hand and it blew up and had to have the rest of his hamburger finger amputated. Do we know what finger it
really
is?
got amputated?
I believe so. We don't know what finger it was.
I hope they pull that franchise tag and Raiders scoop up that 9-fingered dude. I hope it wasn't his thumb. If it was a thumb, that would be shitty.
He can't go Luke Skywalker route.
Is that what it says?
Did Jason Pierre-Paul try to get a robot finger to replace a metal finger? Oh my God!
They won't let him play with it, probably.
No, this is the headline is Docs give cold JPP the truth. He can't go Luke Skywalker route. And then there's look at the picture. The little picture of fucking a Luke Skywalker in the corner. So let's see.
Oh God.
There is no magic formula to repair Jason Pierre-Paul's 4th of July brain cramp. Ew,
it was such a brain cramp.
Now spent an entire week in Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, will have to learn to play with 4 fingers on his right hand. Okay, multiple doctors told the Post it wouldn't make sense other than cosmetically for the Giants defensive lineman to utilize a prosthetic finger because based on the leaked medical information, the entire finger is gone and there's no way to replicate it.
So he blew his fucking finger off.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't his thumb. It doesn't sound like it, at least.
Let's see. You couldn't anchor the finger on strong enough. Blah blah blah. There's no Skywalker technology yet. God damn it! Did we get fooled with another Onion article?
It's probably. I mean,
this whole thing is about how to.
Luke Skywalker. We should have.
It's his middle finger. It looks like.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
That's actually. I think. He could even be better without that finger. I feel. Football wise. Like maybe.
As a defensive lineman, I think your fingers are vital.
But he has a space right there that he could hook. Use those as hooks, you know. I'm trying.
Jason Pierre-Paul has been called for holding 67 times this year. It's because his 2 dead fingers at the end just keep getting caught in somebody's sleeve. Defensive holding. I've never seen this. So
it only happens. Yeah, that's one of the most rare things to be called is that defensive holding on a lineman.
Nope, I was wrong. Jason Pierre-Paul had his right index finger amputated on Wednesday.
Perfect.
That actually might help out a little bit.
That's way better than what was. If he had that bone filed down now.
Right index finger. Oh.
Is that not true either?
There was images uploaded, but it says the images were removed after we received reason to question their legitimacy. So somebody's all, hand me that fucking butcher knife. I got to get this Jason Pierre-Paul picture, and they're going to pay me for it. God, his fucking index finger. So I'm trying to picture. You have to grab stuff.
But he'll be able to.
Yeah.
Fine. That'll just be stronger. Those fingers will get fatter.
You know what he is going to have trouble doing? Busting a cap in someone's ass.
Busting a nut too.
Nah, you're fine with 3 fingers. Dude, I went with 2 fingers and a thumb for my first 4 years of jacking off. And then my dick got.
See, look at that. Look how small it is.
God damn it, we need a video element. we could do a 20-minute just mashup of just all the times we've
talking about that ant.
fake and real masturbated in front of each other in here.
Look at my. Do you know if I was talking about my ding dong? God.
Well, let's stick with the bad news for New York. They had a rough week. This was a good. Let me go to my bookmarks. But
Sheriff, what?
A New York man,
Boardwalk Saints.
A New York man has been left impotent after he received note. They denied him medical attention in a jail because he had a 6-day erection, I believe. Let me find.
You know how long what the commercials say and what I've heard, and I think I even learned in school in 5th grade to be exact, that if you have an erection that lasts longer than 3 hours, you need to get checked out.
Yeah. I think that's probably the safe.
That is horrible to go with. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I have this very odd problem in the morning about after 4 a.m. of when I sleep on my side, I get a fucking erection every time. When I lay on my side, I get a fucking erection. It sucks.
I don't understand. Like, you just...
It doesn't make sense to me either. It's just weird. It's fucking weird.
So anytime you lay on your... Can you lay on your side right now?
No, I'm talking about, like, if I'm in tired mode. You know, I wake up with a fucking wood.
Okay, I think...
God, why am I talking about that?
This is a different one. Shit. No, I like it. Keep going on this boner thing. Like, does it matter what side you lay on?
No, it really doesn't. I've literally went from one side to the other.
Okay, I found the thing. We'll get back.
I have to lay on my back.
So, after being left alone in solitary and denied medical treatment for a painful erection that lasted 6 days, a New York man required surgery that left him impotent. Now the city will be paying out $250,000 for negligence. Rodney Cotton. Nice talk. Okay.
Rodney Cotton.
See, we're growing up here. I left that one wide open, and we didn't take it.
Well, you want to know where my mind went on this one?
I know where it went. The same place mine went. Yes,
I
yes, Marcus, he's black.
No, I pictured cotton fields and straw hats and overalls.
Yeah, and chains.
Not chains. White men on horses.
And you holding a whip, yeah. And
Not
Rodney Cotton, 51, was
me.
detained in the Manhattan Detention Complex, a.k.a. the Tombs.
Being honest.
In 2000. Just being honest. Bad bitch, not being honest. 2011 for a probation violation. He had been in prison for 3 weeks when he began to suffer from a priapism, a painful constant erection, a side effect of the drug Risperdal, which he was taking to treat depression. That's an odd way to treat depression. Just give this guy a 6-day boner and see how happy he is.
And let's see how after it leaves him impotent, how happy he is.
Yeah, that's gonna treat.
What do you call those guys? What were they called? Eunuchs.
Eunuchs have had them removed.
Yeah, but that's how he would be.
I mean, he might as well.
Right, he'd be a fucking eunuch.
Man, maybe
no testosterone.
What if you have a certain amount of boner time, like you like a certain amount of minutes in your lifetime that are delegated to amount of like the length of time you can have a boner.
I've wondered that. You know, I wondered if you're a habitual masturbator.
You got to have a pretty good bank.
If you fucking
of boner hours or boner minutes.
And I've actually heard that your sperm is not unlimited.
You haven't? Well, don't they just make new ones though?
Yeah.
And
hey, I was saying what
I'm
just saying what I've heard. I'm not saying it's true.
I think there's like a school in my ball or something where they go to learn. This is how I remember this from they did not do a good job teaching me how this stuff worked.
No,
so I think there's a school there's a room in my ball, my ball where the jizz go and sit down and learn some stuff. Right? Did I not go to this class and I just made all this up?
No. You're close. You're close. You're really close. They go in. Your testicle is like, at least the way I learned it was like a different universe, and you go inside it. They go inside of it to learn all the knowledge they need to learn.
When do they go to the
and they
small
come back
arms
out.
and close combat training? Is that after the school, or is that the school?
I think that's through the urethra, on the way out.
I wonder if they tell them.
It's a quick train.
Do you think they tell them, like in school, like
they just
every other one of you guys in here it might make it, but most likely you're all gonna die.
The school is literally them coming in one door and someone going go 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 and out the other.
They all got their books and shit. Yeah. They're ready to learn and
you
get out into
you
the
gotta
world.
be the first one there. You better
like,
fucking
come in this
going.
door. Come in this door and sit down. Nope, we're jizzing. You're going.
You gotta go.
Yeah. They don't tell you in school that you're most likely going to end up on a pair of tits, getting wiped off with a dirty towel,
sucking for air as you can't breathe.
Yeah.
As
your
brethren
Marcus.
dry out from the outside of you.
Marcus, do they breathe? It's just breathing.
According to what I've heard,
okay,
they breathe because they're our little people.
I see it. Well,
right?
I mean,
they're our little guys.
Just pictured.
They're just little us.
You're gonna die a painful, desiccating death, just drying out on a towel somewhere.
I literally picture a tadpole in the middle of a street, just fucking, just like
flopping every once in a while, just trying to. Nope, this isn't the normal stuff I'm used to breathing. and then it like flattens out because tadpoles they don't have much of a bone structure. They
they lose their lungs go limp.
Oh God, that would be awful to be a jizz. What a life, man. Like I've seen some bugs and stuff where I'm just like, what the fuck? Why would you be created?
Why do you exist?
And what good are you?
Why do you exist?
That would be awful to be you. Like an aphid.
A mosquito?
An aphid could die like
fruit fly.
Like fruit fly. The same thing. Like
they
the flying aphids of the world. Yeah. They're just these. It'd be terrible.
Think of a cartoon of that, like a sad cartoon of like a bug being born in the morning,
like a realistic one.
Yeah, as the sun's coming up, and it's like this weird story of like what it does. It's flying through like the garden and shit, and then it's like you can see it getting old, and its night's coming down. It starts withering away.
One day, this is real time.
It dies, and as it dies, because it had to mate in that day sometime. As it dies, its babies fly out of it.
Maybe, but you'd have to make the movie more depressing to where like it tries, it tries to
survive.
But it gets interrupted by a bird or something. They have to like, it tries to fuck, and and like at least if you live a day, you might be able to get some bug pussy.
But
you might be able to get some bug pussy, but
if only the aphid and the fruit fly would have met.
Yeah,
they could have got together.
Yeah, exactly. For 6 glorious hours until they fucking died in the sunlight. Grow old. I want to grow old with you until 6 o'clock.
Could you? This is what because of the way we perceive time. Imagine how they perceive time. They have to. Things must be slow for them. I think a lifetime for them probably feels like a lifetime.
What if our lifetime, our entire lifetime was just one day, like
on some weird scale,
sun all day, forever, like, and then the next generation, like your grandkids or whatever grow up, nothing but night.
The night you have the night and the light people, light and the night people.
That's quite a
generation.
Fucking evolution, a generational evolution.
That'd be a book. That'd be a great book.
That would be
of like the third of pre-Earth, the Earth point
before shit slowed down, or maybe it was slower before it sped up.
Well, the prior civilizations.
Yeah.
before.
Let's get
before. I don't know. I mean, that's just what I've heard.
Tell me about them. They dumped some jizz. We're back on jizz.
Doctor
They
Who.
dumped jizz into a river, and then the jizz met some molecules, and then they walked out and started killing each other. So Cotton was then left alone, suffering from horrendous pain.
What were we talking about?
A guy with a boner for 6 days. In solitary confinement instead of being brought to the hospital to treat his medical emergency. 4 hours into the priapism. I like that. I mean, it sounds horrible, but priapism.
Poor guy.
Which happened to occur on the 4th of July. Oh, man, it was a rough day for everybody in New York on the 4th of July. One guy lost fingers. God. One guy lost his boner forever.
Jesus.
They both, we all lost something that day.
Horrible.
Cotton asked to go to the clinic to seek help from the jail doctors. And then he was informed by a guard that he would have to wait until after the holiday. So the 4th of July killed this guy's dick. It was a holiday, so they wouldn't take him out of solitary confinement. The 4th of July has taken so much from us Americans. Yeah,
great.
No more dick for something Cotton.
Cotton soft.
There's a comedian named Chris Cotton in New York. I wonder if he's related.
That'd be funny if you said, I wonder if he's impotent too.
Wonder what his dick looks like. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Okay, so we're going to have to stick with New York here. So I'll go ahead and just read you this headline before I get into this story.
All right.
New York Police Department sergeant suspended after throwing, it's a common theme today, semen at a female co-worker crush to earn her attention.
What are we, fucking monkeys? What? It's fucking sling our fucking feces, and
well, that's if you don't like somebody. If you have
a
crush on somebody, you throw your
fucking jizz on them. I just picture the fucking the spray going. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, people working. Like, what is that?
It's my love chowder. Why don't you like me?
Because you just threw your love.
Because now I have to get these pants dry cleaned, asshole.
Yeah. Fuck.
A New York Police Department sergeant with the Organized Crime Control Bureau has been suspended but not arrested after throwing semen at a coworker because he, in quotes, liked her.
I want to. That guy.
I want to try to figure out this guy's race because
that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, that guy is out of his mind. He should not be a fucking.
I mean, we've all done weird stuff when we had a crush on a girl, right?
Yes, we have. We definitely have. We have done.
But
it has been when we've been in the rooms.
Okay, now here's the problem with this article is there's no real details
damn it
to it. And I got to have more answers. Sergeant Michael Isenko, Iscenko. What is that? Is that like a Eastern European jizz? Is that Eastern European jizz?
It could either be that or Asian.
Isenko.
Because isn't India in Asia?
Sort of.
Yes.
I don't know. We've gone over this. I don't know those countries. I don't know the brown country.
Yes, on the map, the land is brown. Yes, those brown countries.
Michael Isenko, age 54, had previously told the victim, I love the victim, a civilian administrative aid. Look at this, a civilian administrative aide in her 60s that he liked her. The deranged cop, well, let's not go too far. Deranged? The deranged cop decided
that is crazy.
I'm going to change the confused and smitten cop decided to show that affection in January by sexually assaulting her. His victim had just left the ladies' restroom and was heading back to her office when a large shit smell wafted out of the bathroom. When Isenko crept up behind her and threw something on the woman's leg and her shoe. Quote, she suddenly felt something on her leg, looked down, and said to him, "What are you doing?" A source told the New York Post. Isenko did not respond to her question and walked away without saying a word. He was apparently so enamored with her that he threw semen on her. Okay.
Why?
I'm going to take a break from this story just to ask the question, what is the level of mental, abuse that is to the woman who got semen thrown on her leg? Like,
what level of abuse?
Like as
Sexual
far as
assault
the
is
sexual,
this?
yeah. Like, because she's not going to be in the fetal position in the shower crying, most likely, later that night.
She's in
her 60s, by the way.
Realistically, she's gonna be like, she's just gonna shake her head.
Like, I'm never gonna be able to wear shorts again.
Or she's gonna file, as people do in America, they file lawsuits against companies that
The
they
mental
work for,
damages,
and they get millions of dollars for it. So that could possibly happen.
The woman went and immediately filed a complaint with her supervisors, who sent a sample of the substance out to be tested.
There's no way. He's like, there's no way they'll test this.
Is that semen? I don't know. Taste it.
No, let's get it off. She's like,
I don't know. It's a little barbecue-y.
a little has
There's
some
garlic
bleach smell to it. Has a bleach smell.
Who sent the sample of the substance out to be tested? Ding, ding, ding. Surprise. It turned out to be semen. It turned out to be
We have
love
a
juice.
winner.
Though it was not known whose. It was semen, but we still aren't sure whose. The incident
Could have been a dog's.
I love how they sent it off to be tested. They took it upstairs like it's a fucking police department. They're like, we got to send this off, seal it up, all official, stamp it. All right, take this up to
Go get
the second
Charlie
floor.
to come. Go get Charlie from the
you have him
forensics lab.
Can you have him
down
come
and pick
look at this
up.
for 3 seconds and tell us that it's jizz?
Yeah, that's just.
The incident took place in January, yet the department did not obtain a warrant for a DNA sample from Isenko until last Monday.
What?
So it's been 7 months or six whole months.
They just added water. Sure, that's how they got it.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to reactivate it. Reactivate the jizz. People who knew the sergeant, a recent divorcee. This is getting better and better. A recent divorcee who lives in Queens, that they wouldn't have pegged him as a pervert because of the way he dresses. Like, I mean, he's got the mustache, but he's a police sergeant. He's got to have the mustache.
He wears a police uniform.
I mean, we kind of had questions about those halfway tinted reading glasses that he wears, but I mean, the mustache kind of just goes with the badge. Oh,
I know the head. There's a shape of a head that goes along with those glasses.
Let's read this brilliant quote about why they don't think he's a pervert. Everyone who has been questioned says he looks very professional. He wears the uniform well. What?
I hate fucking people. I hate people. I love fucking. Shut up.
Do you even know if you do?
I don't know what I do no more.
The source said, "This is not some creepy looking pervert. He's entirely normal looking." Dude,
what is wrong with people? Jesus, this can't be real.
This is This is a respectable news place that
it is.
Yeah, it's Panac.com.
Oh,
it's who that Cassandra Rules writes for. Let's see. The rate at which we are having to report on sexual assaults and rapes by police officers. Oh, this is the photography is not a crime portion of this article. Sexual assaults and rapes by police officers could lead one to believe that the uniform itself is indicative of being a creepy looking pervert. Not even those on their own side of the thin blue line are safe from the violent whims of police. I mean, that's a true statement, yeah, but this was not violent. This was borderline victimless crime. Like,
it was assault.
That's assault.
This lady.
It was
this lady.
It was very assaulty.
It was assaulty.
Very assaulty.
It was very assaulty.
That's all covered up. Fuck it.
I heard it.
Let's see.
God.
At least part of the incident was captured on a security camera, but the view of Isenko was partly obstructed by the victim standing in front of him. Oh my God, I have to see this fucking video.
Watch it. It's like there's gonna be an update to the bottom of at the bottom of this article, and they've married.
Yeah.
and she's now pregnant. From that incident.
You cunts, where's the video?
And she's gonna have a half-breed dog.
Oh man.
Is that possible?
Half-breed. What?
If dog semen inside of
a woman?
Well, I don't think it's possible.
We'd know about it by now.
Do you really think we would know about it by now? I mean, really? Do you think we would know about it by now?
I would think so.
I think the government would keep it from us.
We got to get that little dog boy. I mean, we got to quiet
horrible.
These people.
Or maybe they have a guy. They just have one man. They just bring in animals for him, like, and they're trying to get.
Let's see if you can fuck this thing and get it pregnant.
Is that scientific?
If they've got a lab for them to bring these various animals in for this guy to fuck and try to impregnate, I think they could probably just get his jizz like off that lady's pant leg and then like inject it in somehow.
I just picture a dude.
Which raises all new questions. Are there people injecting human jizz into animals right now?
I just picture a dude chained in a white room in some government building with just tidy whities on, and they walk animals in by rope and just leave them there for him.
He's like, for some reason, got a small table.
You want to eat? You better get to fucking. You know,
we'll give you this small table with a bowl of soup on it.
Damn.
If you try to impregnate these 3 animals every hour. I don't think it's taken yet.
No,
I mean, they're obviously doing this. They're obviously doing exactly that, but I just don't think it's happened yet.
That was an extreme take on.
I mean, we do share a large portion of the genome with monkeys.
Well, the thing is about our DNA, I tell you, is...
Dude, how DNA heavy is this episode right now?
DNA is like a memory. It's a memory device. It's like you pass it on to your child. However, our semen comes, has our DNA.
Yeah.
And then it replicates, and it's a big long information line.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy about it.
Jizz school, semen school,
and everything comes all
boom,
around.
full circle.
Full circle.
I heard an interesting thing about DNA having memory, because and this is actually really fucked up kind of, but they took rats and they every time a certain like color of light came on, these rats, they had this metal floor that they were on. They would put a pulse of electricity into the metal floor and shock their feet. And it's really happened. So they're torturing these. They're horribly torturing these rats, but
God.
But that rat then had babies that never got the shock treatment and the light. But every time that certain color of light came on or whatever, they would get scared, because that knowledge in the DNA in the jizz school, semen school,
wow,
is just passed on.
It just goes on to the next, and that's why we have traits of our parents. I think more so than watching them. It's just, I think it's part of who we are.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then we're building on top of that.
Yeah.
And creating. It's a foundation, basically.
Man, it's complicated.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew how it worked, so I could make people. I mean, I would not want to make people like the normal way,
like Prometheus out of the dirt.
I would love to have a petri dish and just start putting shit in it and grow my own.
It just delegate down to different types of jizz, animal jizz.
And I have a witch's brew kettle and a wooden spoon.
Marcus, the neighbors here, he kind of wants to talk to you about he saw you jerking his dog off. And this is the third time this week. I know you're really trying on this science project, but can we keep it to our pets, please? We have female pets.
The fucking Diego fucking is too old. He fucking just blows out dust.
Just dust. Oh my god. Holy shit.
We went from MMA to jizz.
Oh my god. Can you imagine the people that are just so bored for the first half of this? What they get in the second half? It's just Conor McGregor and then just jizz for the rest of the time.
Jizz.
Speaking of jizz.
Jesus Christ.
So Cosby.
Fucking Cosby.
Yeah, everybody, all those people that were sticking up for Cosby are suddenly jumping ship because this deposition came out from 2005. How did it take this long for this information to come out where he admitted in court or under, court proceedings, whatever, that he has purchased Quaaludes to give to women
he never admitted
to have sex with?
He never admitted to actually doing
This was
the sexual
2005
act, right?
before all that stuff was really out, though.
I'm surprised that, because he's Bill Cosby. He sells Jell-O.
I'm not gonna do Bill Cosby again. That was disastrous last time.
I do want to get some Jell-O.
But
no.
And then you've got Cosby
right now,
and
I'll be back in a few.
Then this fucking terrible thing that fucking Jared from Subway did. Did you hear about this? The terrible thing that Jared from Subway did?
What is the terrible thing
he convinced all of us this entire time that those fucking sandwiches are healthy for you. They're not, man. They're not.
What? How do you do it? How do you lose that weight?
Dude, chasing 9-year-olds. They are fast. They are fast.
So fast.
So Jared from Subway. Cosby admits to the Quaaludes. Jared from Subway is getting fucking FBI.
So
they got your hard drives, cracker.
So Subway isn't good for you.
I don't think so, man.
Oh man.
I think
that's bullshit.
I think the entire platform they should have ran on is we're better than McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like just something like that where it's not just like, oh, we're eating healthy today, let's go get some Subway.
We're a wannabe pita pit.
Let's put some vegetables and then mystery meat on top of a big hunk of carb loaded bread.
What about when you eat spinach? When you eat the spinach?
Yeah, that's good for you, but
the spinach.
Yeah, who knows?
Or that cheese isn't real cheese all the time either. It doesn't melt right.
So, have you heard anything more on this or?
No, actually, I've only heard that.
Breaking news.
Jared?
Orlando trades forward Maurice Harkless to Portland for future second-round pick.
Who?
Oh, this will make it feel better. 3.5 points per game.
What are we doing? I read an article that said it said there he goes I hear people talking about how Portland can be a 40-win team, and he goes and that sentence is a period. There's a period, and the next sentence is Portland is going to be bad. I really bad next year.
Who's Luis Montero? We signed him too.
He might be a guy. I don't know. They have just they're just signing young people.
All right. Well, let's take this one chance to retract one statement from last week about making the playoffs next year.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs. They suck.
Oh God.
I mean, if they Damian, fuck it. I'm not even. I'm gonna watch. I'll watch the first 10 games and make a judgment then. They weren't supposed to be good last year.
Yeah. Well, let's end on the sour note of the Blazers blowing up next season.
Yeah, maybe they're doing it on purpose. They're. I mean, there's no one in the draft, is there?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Like,
anymore.
there's a real. I mean, it's a distant possibility, but there is a distant possibility that the Blazers general management know a little bit more than us. I don't think so, but I'll give it. I'll put it out to the universe that
I'll
it's
watch.
a possibility.
They said they were going young. I think they're putting a bunch of talent in a room and saying, hey, whoever comes out alive is on the team. And Damian isn't in that room because he's on the team.
Yeah.
And Miles Plumlee, but that's it.
You guys can play with Lillard. But that's it for the CaveCast, I think.
That's depressing.
We'll have more on this next week.
Oh, God.
We're going to go probably hold each other and cry about the Blazers next season. And, I don't know, jerk each other off. But, so, oh, shit. So that's it for the CaveCast this week. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Danny Admire. He's at Munkus CMP.
Yep.
Go like our Facebook page. Give it the thumbs up. It's facebook.com/Cave Music Productions. This is Idea. For the song of the week, he tragically died in 2011, I believe, from a drug overdose. But he was a very influential rapper from my introduction to independent hip-hop on. Fantastic rapper. Fantastic lyric writer. This song never ceases to make me smile because it's called Smile. This is Idea and Abilities. Tell your moms we said what's up and have a good-ass week, motherfuckers. We'll be back.
Prince in practice moans for the attention that he wants, but most this town won't even dignify his ignorance with a response left to a crowded foster home by a 15-year-old mom. Never been held in anyone's arms when you've never been moved, it's really hard to move on. A young saleswoman sets up shop when the sun sets, should make your wildest dreams come true at a price you won't forget. The sadly married set up alibis, no harm, no regret, hoping they meet an angel in bed that could wrestle the devil right out of their heads. The city runs fast, no one has time to sit with themselves, no time to look into our pain or see the same despair. But everyone else is here, it's there, it's everywhere. Tears soak each card the dealer's dealt. Time taught me how to see every second as heaven, even though they're perfectly disguised as hell. And I refuse to let past bruises cover the light. It ain't all good, but it's all good enough, so I know I'm alright. Agony is truth, it's our connection to the living. I accept it as perfection and keep on existing in the now. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. Ear to ear, as if that's all I'm here for. Despite the wars founded by the rich, funded by the poor, kids barely 18 are dying, so billionaires can make more. Elsewhere, hungry mothers watch the baby starve to death in a beat-up shack on a dirt floor. The aged professor quotes freedoms without a path. Now he dresses like a widow and preaches love is dead in every class. But curiosity killed the cat and taught the dog in him how to act. And it burned his bridge to Jill, so he tries to drown the guilt with a bottle of Jack. Self-proclaimed rebels say we must oppose the system. You gotta take a stand. If you're not against them, you're with them. The signs read support the troops, bring them home, no more innocent victims. But when a homeless veteran asks for spare change, they're too busy protesting to even listen. And I'm no different, I live in conflict and contradiction, but it can be so beautiful when I don't reject what lies within. It's beautiful the way agony connects us to the living. I think of the world when I hurt and keep on existing in the now. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. I can only build if I tear the walls down. Even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. If I tear the walls down, even if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile. I can only build if I tear the walls down. if it breaks me, I won't let it make me frown. I'm falling, but no matter how hard I hit the ground, I'll still smile.